Have you ever noticed that wanting something and being tormented by wanting it are not quite the same thing? You want the message back. You want the promotion. You want the person to choose you. You want one more scroll, one more click, one more little hit of relief, and for a moment it feels as if the next thing will settle the mind. But then the mind asks again. That is why Buddhism is so often summarized with one blunt line: desire causes suffering. The problem is that the line is memorable, but it can also be misleading. In early Buddhist teaching, the more precise target is not every form of wanting, but craving, tanha, often translated as thirst or craving. The Four Noble Truths say that dukkha, the unsatisfactoriness woven through ordinary life, arises from this craving. So Buddhism is not simply telling you to become a stone with no preferences, no energy, and no care. It is asking a sharper question. When the mind wants, what does it do next? Does it relate to the world with openness, or does it grip, demand, chase, and cling? That difference matters. One early Buddhist story makes this vivid. A monk named Sona was pushing himself hard in practice, so hard that he was exhausted and discouraged. He even considered giving up the training and returning to ordinary life. The Buddha responded with a question. When the strings of a lute are too tight, can it play well? No. When they are too loose, can it play well? Again, no. Only when the strings are tuned just right does the instrument make music. The lesson: too much strain becomes restlessness. Too little effort becomes laziness. The path asks for balance, not violence against yourself. That story is not only about meditation technique, it also gives us a way to think about desire. Buddhism is not saying that liberation comes from crushing the human heart. It is warning that both indulgence and harsh self-torture miss the middle way. Why does craving hurt? Because craving does not just notice something pleasant, it adds a demand. It says, keep this, repeat this, make this mine, make this last. And when life refuses, as life usually does, frustration appears. The early teaching says this plainly. Not getting what you wish for is dukkha. Separation from what you like is dukkha. Even pleasant experiences carry tension when they are tied to grasping, because they are impermanent by nature. Tanha is called thirst for a reason. It keeps leaning forward, convinced that one more drink will finally be enough. This is why the issue is deeper than pleasure versus pain. A delicious meal is not the enemy. Love is not the enemy. Ambition is not automatically the enemy. The suffering grows when the mind turns any passing thing into a condition for being okay. Think about a promotion at work. At one level, there is nothing strange about wanting it. You may want to do meaningful work, earn more, support your family, or test your abilities. But then the mind quietly adds something else. If I get this, I will finally feel solid. If I do not get this, something is wrong with me. Now the job is no longer just a job. It has become a verdict on the self, and that is where ordinary wanting starts turning into suffering. You check your email too often. You rehearse imaginary conversations. You compare yourself with everyone around you. If success comes, the relief is brief. Soon, another object appears. The mind is thirsty again. One modern way to apply the Buddhist idea is this: act, care, and pursue worthwhile things. But notice when desire hardens into identity, desperation, or control. So what is the practical takeaway? The next time desire arises, do not immediately ask, how do I get rid of this? Ask instead, what is the mind adding? Is there simple preference? Or is there a story that says this must happen, this must stay, this must define me? That small question creates space. You may still go after the goal, you may still love the person, you may still enjoy the meal, the music, the career, the beautiful day, but you hold them more lightly. And that is the heart of this teaching for modern life. Buddhism does not ask you to stop being human. It asks you to see the difference between experiencing life and clinging to it. The first can be vivid. The second is what starts to hurt.